we laid the patient out on the table and then chopped him up into these various sections so that, again, we could manipulate each of the sections relative to themselves.
Unfortunately, I would get the script and I'd say, my line, bullshit, bullshit, my line, my line.
I love actors, so I have a lot of this. But two people that were in the movie were M. Emmett Walsh, who was cast. M. Emmett Walsh is the guy, if you've ever seen Blood Simple, he's the sheriff. He's always the guy in the movie that plays kind of the twisted... in fact, when I brought up his name for the movie, somebody said, you can't hire him. He always plays the guy who has sex with the donkey.
A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants.
You've probably noticed I only work with actors who are losing their hair. It's a theme in my work, and I'm willing to discuss it.
This is Billy. Hello. Now let's look at the creative process and how it works. Because it's a conference about creativity, and I'm trying to figure out where it all comes from, and I don't think anybody really knows.
You think up something comes from somewhere, you don't know, it comes unbidden sometimes, and then you have to decide, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to organize this or do something with it? And the effective merging of those two streams is when something really catches.
But I thought long and hard about this. I really deliberated for hours. I called family members. I talked to my crew. I talked to everyone about it. And I basically have come to the conclusion that I'm for it.
I'm the only speaker at the conference representing the creativity of actors. It does exist, you know.
There's a particular flavor to any discussion about creativity in film.
Mistakes are really the manure of learning. And, you know, it's something I think is really true, is that mistakes are really the manure of doing anything creative.
When Will called me and said, we're going to have a creativity conference, we're going to talk about creativity, I really got myself twisted up into a pretzel about it, because I think we're all creative.
It's hard to follow. All these acts are so good, you know, they're so Hollywood, you know, and so local. But I guess I you know, speak for you. I represent Portland.
I'm trying to get a handle on what it is. I mean, we're talking about creativity in film, and what it is that makes that different and creates a different kind of, a different sense of urgency about some things than creativity in any other form.
So on spec, I made the screenplay, which was really, I think, the ultimate in creativity, because you have no one to answer to. No one was paying for the script. No one was telling me what to do. I had it completely, you know, to myself.
The moonlighting scripts for an hour show generally ran 95 pages. Conventional television shows about 48 pages. Part of that was we did tons of dialogue, but also because we were very specific. I'm a big believer in that. Paint. Paint. Paint as thoroughly as you possibly can, because the next person that picks it up, that does the work with it, is going to bring their own palette to it. So the more you can help them, the better.
That without the words, occasionally you'll give a wonderful mind performance, perhaps, but without the words, you're not much.
A director has to kind of tell what their vision is. Very tough, and to a certain amount, it's bullshit.
How did you do this? How did you come up with that? What happened when you got there and you saw this? You didn't have the money. How did you do this? How did you think of that? And there is a similar kind of terror and pride at the same time in the skills that you developed, and occasionally the times when those things actually come off.
You find out how the Klan build their crosses. Well, they do it the simple way. They take 2x4s, they nail them together, they wrap them in burlap, and to hold the burlap on, they wrap them with baling wire, soak it in kerosene, light it, Bob's your uncle. Problem is, Klan crosses suck.
It's like some kind of Oriental art where you turn the disadvantages to your advantage. So you use your enemy's strength, for, you know, and convert it into your strength. And I think That's kind of the process of filmmaking.
Although sometimes with less budget, the creativity has to be even more expansive to make up for the lack of budget.
Time and again you say, this won't work, this is just not going to be it. And yet you see this miracle take place.
That's the beauty of it, really, that it's a collaborative art form, and you need everybody's help, and you don't know where to draw the line.
That what I'm basically trying to describe here is that some of it is hell.
Think about the future. It's going to be high-definition TV, and it's going to be 4,000 lines. So you will need good photographers in the future, other than we have today, and many more of them.
But we cannot afford to become complacent in our work, because even though we're doing many good projects, we have good reason to be guarded about our future. Our bosses are no longer creative people. They're big business. After the repression of the 80s, that the 90s will be a phenomenal flowering of art and ideas and creativity.